Joining us now, Democratic Senator from California, Alex Padilla. Senator, it's great to have you. Let's listen to something else President Biden said about his willingness to make, quote, significant compromises on the border to get this funding for Ukraine and Israel through. Here he was.
Sure.
I've already laid out in our negotiations with Langford and others what we're willing to do, significantly more, particularly by starting off equipping the border capacity that we need on the border, from judges to more border security, in addition to making some substantive changes. But they're unwilling to do it.
Senator, what significant changes on the border are you willing to compromise on?
Look, well, first of all, appreciate you replaying the president's statement yesterday that he's already put a plan forward. And if Republicans were sincere and genuine about truly negotiating a more secure border, they would have voted to begin debate and discussion on that bill. They had a prime opportunity to bring forward their own plans or their amendments to the president's package, but they voted no. They're not ready to genuinely talk. They're not ready to genuinely negotiate. And don't take my word for it. Republicans themselves are saying this is not a negotiation. This is a take it or leave it. This is a price for supporting the overwhelming bipartisan supported aid to Israel package and the significantly bipartisan aid to Ukraine package. So this is not the way to go about negotiations, and certainly not for policy areas as complex and important and consequential as border security.
Well, let's talk about one of the key sticking points, and that is the issue of parole, which is, by the way, a policy that Trump used at times during his administration as well. But it's essentially, releasing sometimes to work into America those that cross illegally. The really interesting part of all of this is that you've had some Border Patrol officials, including one who testified before staffers, who spoke to staffers on your Homeland Security Committee, who said, look, if you don't change parole, it encourages crossings. Let me quote from them. The belief that they are going to be released with no consequences is certainly something that many migrants tell our agents. Why not curtail parole if it is incentivizing more crossings?
So, look, we're not saying no. What I've said is the devil is in the details. And let's also remember that it is not unlawful for somebody fleeing persecution, for somebody fleeing a natural disaster to come to the United States to seek asylum. So whether it's reforming the asylum system, reforming, how parole is used by the department, by the president, others, those are valid policy discussions. That's not what's before us. It's a supplemental budget bill, budget request by the president. But fine, if this is where we are, let's engage in genuine conversations. Okay. Here's another frustration I've had, Poppy, because I've been involved with discussions with Senator Langford and several of my Republican colleagues. They're trying feverishly to keep it restricted to a border. When you talk about immigration, it's like trying to squeeze one end of a balloon. What's going to happen at the other end? There's dynamics that are impacted. If you want to talk about reducing the flow, reducing the numbers of people coming to the southern border of the United States, you got to look at what's pulling them here or what's driving them here. And when I put that on the table, they don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
They only want to talk about more Border Patrol officers. I appreciate the president saying we need more judges, more capacity to hear these genuine asylum cases, make determinations, who's eligible, who's not. But the last I checked, Republicans are trying to cut the budget, not add resources.
I understand you're saying H.R. 2, which is largely what Republicans in the Senate want, does mainly address the border, but you have to deal with it at the root and at the border. But Senator, just yes or no before we move on to another important topic. Will the Senate go on recess without getting this done, without getting more aid to Israel and Ukraine voted on?
Yeah, I certainly hope not, but that's, I think, a question for Leader Schumer, Leader McConnell, President Biden, the Speaker, Majority Leader in the House.
Feels like it right
but
now.
What I will say is this. Discussions are not over until we actually solve the problem. Immigration as a whole is something that is way overdue. We haven't modernized our immigration system in decades. But when Republicans come and say H.R. 2, take it or leave it, that is not a genuine negotiation.
Do you believe, along with Senator Van Hollen, Senator Welch, Senator Sanders, that there should be conditions on aid to Israel?
I think there's a conversation every time there's an aid package of how we're working with our allies on
no, but I'm asking
the use of the funds.
I'm asking you. It's a really clear cut within among Democrats in the Senate. Either some say no conditions or some say yes conditions. Where do you fall?
Look, I think there's different ways of imposing conditions. Sometimes it's in the language of the bill. Sometimes it's how we're working with our partners hand in hand to oversee activities. I will insist on this. It's not just military aid, significant humanitarian aid that needs to flow to the region. We need to deliver the significant aid that's needed for the innocent Palestinians that are also victims of the violence in Gaza. They are the biggest victims of Hamas over the years. Their future is better once Hamas is eradicated.
Yeah, well, I think everyone can agree on eradicating Hamas. To politics before I let you go, of course, 2024, there's a new CNN poll. It doesn't look good for President Biden. His approval rating has sunk to 37%. 71% of voters, Senator, do not think Biden is doing a good job on the economy. They view this economy as somewhat or very poor. Are you concerned that may sink his reelection chances?
Look, I'm concerned that we need to continue to do better about messaging to voters what we have done to help create jobs, to tackle inflation, which is now down significantly compared to a year ago, to invest in infrastructure that is the foundation for a strong economy, not just next year, but for decades to come. We have a lot to be proud of. President Biden has been the leader on getting all this done, and that's what campaigns are for. You covering the debate last night, a lot of focus has been on the Republican primary. Once they have an official nominee, and it's a choice between President Biden and what seems likelier each and every day, Donald Trump, I think the contrast and the choice is going to be very clear, and we're going to be celebrating President Biden's re-election next November.
Okay, if it is Trump, though, more Americans think he would handle the economy better than they think Biden would right now. We'll see where it goes. Senator Alex Padilla, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.